السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين، والصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على النبي الأمي المكي المدني القرشي الهاشمي الذي سمي في السماء بأحمد وفي الأرض بأبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين، سيما بقية الله الأعظم روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء. أما بعد، فقد قال أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب عليهما السلام: أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله واتباع أمره ونهيه. First of all, I recommend myself and all of you to practice piety, especially in the day we call it Jumuatul Wida. Jumuatul Wida means the last Jummah of the month of Ramadan. Today here in Guyana and most of the countries, is the 24th of the month of Ramadan, and almost we are closing to the end of the month of Ramadan. It seems that we just started the month of Ramadan and now we are on 24th today, the last Jummah of the month. It shows that time flies very fast, and we should not lose the opportunity which is allocated for us. Whatever we benefited from this month and however we benefited from this month, it's up to us. And again, we have a couple more days and couple more nights, and these days and these nights are more important than any other days and any other nights. The last 10 nights, particularly the odd nights in last decade of the in last 10 days of the month of Ramadan, is so important that one of those nights is the night of power, which is better than 1,000 months. Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr wa ma adraka ma laylatul qadr. Laylatul qadr khayrum min alf shahr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down the Quran in this night, and this night is peace until the dawn. And Malaika and angels, the archangel, they descend in the night and they bring the decree of all human beings. One of those odd nights is the night of power, 19th, 21st, 23rd, 25th, 27th, and even 29th. We hope that our brothers and sisters across the globe, particularly in our region, they were able to benefit from the month of Ramadan, particularly in this pandemic situation, while we are blocked from many other activities. And maybe that itself is a blessing for us, that we can pay more attention to spirituality and deen and religion and our faith. This has to be a message for us to revive and to reform our inner self. And this is the opportunity for us, and opportunity never knocks the door again and again. So we should not lose such an opportunity. And still we have a couple more days and a couple more nights, and we hope that we can benefit from these nights and these days. Jumatul Wida, in the traditions, in riwayat, we have so many traditions about the Jumatul Wida, the last Juma of the month. And we have so many du'as dedicated for this day, and we hope that sometime we can deal with those topics, inshallah. But what I want to mention today within my limited time is the Quds Day. Remember, the leader of the Islamic revolution, Imam Khomeini rahmatullah alayhi, declared the last Jummah of the month of Ramadan as a Quds Day, the day of Islam, the day in which we defend the oppressed one, and we fight and we raise our voices against oppressors. Imam Ali alayhi salatu wassalam, in 20th day of the month of Ramadan, 40 Hijrah, 40 years after migration, in which he achieved martyrdom, and he received a stroke on his head while he was offering prayers on 19th morning, and he departed on 21st morning. So during these 48 hours he made many recommendations, and he made a wasiyah. Among those wasiyah and will, he made the wasiyah to his two sons, Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein. In fact, he was using two sons and passing the message to the entire human being until the day of judgment. In that, he focused on many issues, particularly the Quran, and paying attention to the responsibilities we carry, looking after the orphans, looking after the widows, doing charitable work. And among those is this line, which remain as a motto, which remain as a goal and purpose of every believer. He says that Kuna lidh-dhalimi khasman wa lil-madhlumi auna. Be for the oppressors khasman, enemy. Stand against oppressors. Raise your voices against oppressors. Fight against oppressors. Teach them lesson so they cannot repeat the oppression. And walil madhlumi auna, and be the helper to oppressed one. Here he didn't mention that it has to be mu'min or Muslim. Any oppressed is worthy enough to give a helping hand. This is our motto. Wherever we have the oppression, we have to stand against that. We have to speak out against that. We have to raise our concerns against that. No matter they are Muslims or not Muslims, whatever. If they are Muslim, the oppressed one are the Muslims, it increases our responsibility. As our noble Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned that man asbaha wa lam yahtamma bi umuri al-muslimin falaysa bi muslim. The one who wakes up and doesn't care about the affairs of the Muslims, he is not a Muslim. He cannot consider himself or herself as a Muslim. So if something wrong is happening to our Muslim brothers and sisters, any part of the world, it is our concern. As a Muslim, we have to raise our voices against the oppression. We have to give helping hand, and we have to give support with any means available for us. At least we can raise our voices. At least we can pray for them. At least we can send some support and send some funds for them. Give some idea. Give some moral support. Give some political support. Whatever we can do within our capacity, we have to fulfill it, and this is as a responsibility as a Muslim. If we are not doing it, it means we are not among the Muslims, as our noble Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam described in this hadith. Let me go through with the background of Palestine. Nowadays, if you focus on the international affairs, there are many places where the oppression going on right now. Some from our enemies, and unfortunately in some oppression from our own people, the hypocrites, the so-called Muslims, are troubling our Muslim brothers and sisters, the innocent people. And that has to be addressed. Our Muslim community, our Muslim countries, our Muslim leaders, our Muslim intellectuals, our Muslim thinkers, they have to address this issue. Why a Muslim country is invading other Muslim country? Why a Muslim country is bombing on innocent people and masjid, and they doesn't care about the madrasa, masjid or school or whatever it may be. So this is something we need to address. This is something we need to find out the reasons behind it. Quran says in chapter Hujurat, if two groups among the Muslims, they are fighting each other, Muslims cannot just stand and watch. You have to try your best to reconcile between them. If one group is not listening to you, then you have to fight against that group until they bow down to the laws and the principles of Islam. That is something, the principle, that is the Quranic verse. That is not something debatable. That is not something, a difference of opinion in it. This is the straightforward Quranic verse which all Muslims believe in. So we have to address these issues, and if we are ignoring these issues, if we are not taking care of these issues, it means we don't consider ourselves as a Muslim. Sometimes I feel myself ashamed that we are calling Muslims up, but we are not doing the responsibilities upon our shoulders as a Muslim. Whatever the means we have, whatever the capacity we have to raise our voices. Today I want to deal with the issue, the particular issue of Palestine. In Second World War, 1941 to 45, it was the killing of Jews in Europe, particularly in Germany, and it is famous as a Holocaust, and that itself is debatable. And in Europe and in other countries, it is banned to talk about Holocaust, to research about Holocaust. So it's a fabricated history that the Germany, particularly Hitler and Nazis, they killed brutally around 6 million Jews in Germany and some other parts of Europe. And that itself is questionable. We have to find out whether we had a 6 million population, where they are buried, and how it happened, who are the names, and whole set of things we need to do the research about this, the history which is given to us. Even if we accept that it happened, not up to this extent. Ironically, you find the Hitler, he himself wrote a book. In that book he mentioned that I killed the Jews in Germany and I left some of them. I was able to kill each one of them, every one of them. I left some of them, so you can understand, you can find out that what I did was right because of the mischievous behavior they had and they have. So how these people are, how they are mischievous, how they are troublemakers. So if you see them, you give me right that what I did was right. I'm not going to discuss on the numbers, 6 million, 1 million, a couple hundred, a couple thousand, whatever it may be. What he did was wrong. We condemn that. Killing innocent people, whoever they are, without any crime, without any valuable reason, is prohibited in Islam. Islam says, Nafsul Muhtarama. Once you have life, the person, the innocent human being, there is a value for the life of the human being. You cannot kill a human being just like that without any reason, without any crime. We condemn that. There is no doubt in it. We don't accept oppression or killing of innocent people any part of the world, any time of the history. And in fact, we are the victims of such kind of terrorist activities, and throughout the history we Muslims gave a whole set of sacrifice of giving our lives in different times of the history. So we condemn that. But they use that Holocaust as propaganda machinery that the Jews are victims and we need to support them. Fine. That is also we agree. If you find a group or a set of people who are victims, yes, as a human being, you need to support them. Fine. So who did the crime? Hitler and Europeans. So where we have to settle them? So they were finding the place. That time Britishers, and with the help of Americans and other European governments, they attacked the Muslim territory of Palestine. They carry out the brutality. They kill thousands of Muslims and they drag them out of their homes, and they occupied their territory and their land, and they declared in 1948 as the land of Israel. And from then up to now, more than 70 years, constantly they are brutalizing our Muslim brothers and sisters. They are killing them. They are driving them away from their houses and their farmlands. They're usurping their houses and making their settlements for the forcefully migrant people. They are inviting people from across the globe, from Europe, from America, from Canada, from different parts of the world, even from Africa, luring them a house and apartment, and they are settling them in Palestine. And this is going on more than 70 years. Every day you are hearing the news that they are killing an innocent girl or innocent boy. They are even brutalizing the family members, and even they don't spare the women and children. These things are mentioned by even the Western media. There are many open-minded reporters. They reported the brutality of the Israeli regime, the Zionist regime, against the Muslim brothers and sisters, and this is not hidden, and nobody can hide this anymore. If the mainstream media, which is controlled by Zionists, is not talking much about this, but there are many who are outspoken. There are many reporters who sense the humanity in their hearts, in their mind, and they expose them. And it is there, it's online available, you can search it, some of the clips you cannot even bear to watch them, the amount of brutality they are carrying on. And it is continuously going on, the oppression, the apartheid regime, the huge amount of discrimination. Even they build the wall between the Palestinians and the Israelites, and they are not allowing our Palestinian brothers and sisters to pass through. And this type of behavior, it is happening under the support of these big organizations. They call themselves of human rights, or women's rights, or children's rights. They are protecting the so-called big organizations, and they watch and they see all these things and they don't speak out. And this is the double standard we are facing in today's world, in 21st century, my dear brothers and sisters. And now here it is more hurting for us to know that the Muslim countries, the so-called Muslim countries I should say, the hypocrites, they are extending their helping hand to Israel regime, the occupied regime, the Zionist regime. Instead of supporting our brothers and sisters in Palestine, in Gaza, in Ariha, in other parts of the Palestine, so they can take back their usurped land and they go back to their homes. Millions, they are out of their homes and they are residing in the camps in Lebanon, in Jordan, in Syria, in other parts of the world, instead of supporting them, they are giving hand, the helping hand to Zionist regime. And now they want to normalize the bilateral, the so-called the political relations with occupied regime. And this they want to make it in the name of peace, in the name of normalization, in the name of the different beautiful names they are bringing in. How can you expect the peace while you see millions of people, they are left out of their homes without any reason, and you call that as a peace? The regime, it is more appropriate to call a camp or the military camp there against the Muslim brothers and sisters than a government. You supporting that regime, and you calling yourself as a human being, and you calling yourself as a Muslim. It is a best trial and test for entire Muslims and entire Muslim Ummah to understand who are truly Muslims under this hadith of our noble Prophet, Man asbaha wa lam yahtamma bi umuril muslimin falaysa bi Muslim. It is a big trial for us to find out who really supporting our Muslim brothers and sisters in Palestine. Yes, if Imam Khomeini, as a leader of the Islamic revolution in Iran, approach Muslim Ummah to stand on particular day, the last Jumu'ah of the month of Ramadan, and commemorate that day as a Quds day, as a day of Islam, giving helping hand to our brothers and sisters in Palestine, why the other Muslim brothers and sisters, they are not supporting this idea? Well, if you call that he is a Shia leader, fine, you call a day. The majority of our brothers and sisters living in Palestine are our Sunni brothers and sisters, and more than 55 countries we have, unfortunately. The Muslim, they call themselves Muslim, and which countries are supporting our Palestinian brothers and sisters? You cannot find except the Islamic Republic of Iran and Syria and Hezbollah from Lebanon. The other countries, what they are doing, they are giving helping hand to Israel. They're normalizing the situation, they're normalizing the relations with the occupied regime instead of supporting our brothers and sisters in Palestine. Now you can understand who are the real Muslims and who are the hypocrites. Day by day, unfortunately, the hypocrites are demonstrating in a different way. Instead of you supporting our Muslim brothers and sisters in Palestine, you are bombing on Yemen, the other Muslim brothers and sisters, spending billions of dollars and seeking the help from the Israel pilots and American pilots and European pilots, buying the weapons from the enemies and pouring all those weapons upon the innocent brothers and sisters in Yemen. That's what you're supposed to do as a Muslim? What you have answered in the day of judgment if Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asks you that what you did as a Muslim in this world? My dear brothers and sisters, this is a very important issue, and now we need to understand that who are real Muslims despite of big risks and so much of price paying after this. Islamic Republic of Iran is helping and supporting our brothers and sisters in Palestine, and I'm telling you that the occupied regime cannot resist. As Quran mentioned, Ja al-haq wa zahaqa al-batil inna al-batila kana zahuqa. The haq, the truth, is came down, wa zahaqa al-batil, and the falsehood vanished. Inna al-batila kana zahuqa. The falsehood has to be banished. One day, our Muslim brothers and sisters will take back their land, take back their homes, they go back, they enter into their homeland, and they will start living normally. And it will happen sooner or later. Because this is the promise made by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Quran that وَنُرِيدُ أَن نَمُنَّ عَلَى الَّذِينَ اسْتُضْعِفُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَنَجْعَلَهُمْ أَئِمَّةً وَنَجْعَلَهُمُ الْوَارِثِينَ. The only thing we need to take care is that we have to strengthen our iman. We should not lose our hope. We should not lose the major element, the pillar of our Muslim ummah, which is unity. Sunni, Shia, Barelvi, or whatever the names you call. Once you are in the Muslim ummah, inside the Muslim ummah, you have to support each other as a Muslim ummah. Now it remains our responsibility. Whoever support our brothers and sisters with any means available for them, they will inshallah ma'jureen, they will attract the reward by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And do not think that you cannot do much. Any little thing you do, you make dua for them, you support with your tongue in social media, condemn the brutality by the Zionist regime, support our brothers and sisters morally in social media, demand your governments wherever you are to condemn the oppression which is going on there in a daily basis in Palestine. So whatever you can do, inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will consider as a worship, especially while you are in the state of fasting in the last Jumuat. And definitely Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help our brothers and sisters in Palestine. The only thing, the only condition is we should not lose our iman, our faith. Once we are with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will help us certainly. In tansurullah yansurkum wa yuthabbit aqdamakum. The only condition is we have to be with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All other banners like pan-Arabism, nationalism, or whatever other than Islam is failed and proven to be failed. The only banner we need to stand under is the banner of Islam, the banner of faith, the banner of unity, the banner of Quran. As Quran says, ittihad, unity is something focus in Quran. Repeatedly it is mentioned there. Innamal mu'minuna ikhwa. Mu'min, believers, are brothers and sisters to each other. Unity is a key for prosperity and victory. And we hope that the day will come very soon. So the Muslim brothers and sisters, inshallah, together will offer the prayers in the Masjid al-Aqsa, which is the first Qibla of the Muslims. And what is our demand is not to fight against Jews and not to fight against Christians. In Quran clearly mentioned that ta'alaw ila kalimatin sawa'in baynana wa baynakum, referring to the Christians, Jews and Sabians and Ahlul Kitab, the people of the book, that you all come under the banner of Tawheed and oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is a unity. So we are not against Jews and we are not against Christians. Islamic teachings never taught us like that. But what is our demand is those who are native Palestinians, whether they are Jews or Christians or Muslims, let them come together. Those who are fled away from their houses, those who are chased away from their houses, let them come back to Palestine. Those who came from outside as a settlers Let them go back to their own places. If a brutality or holocaust, the so-called holocaust, occurred in Germany or in Europe, why not you find a place in Europe and settle them? Why the Muslims and Palestinians have to pay the price for that? The Hitler committed the crime and Muslims have to pay the price. What sort of reasoning is this? What sort of logic is this? So what is our demand is, we ask United Nations and international organizations to be human, to be just, to be honest, allow all the brothers and sisters who forcefully drive away from their homes from Palestine to come back, and all the natives, whether they are Muslims or Christians or Jews, let them have a referendum in a peaceful manner and choose their own government and their method of governance, and let them live peacefully. That's how you can contribute to the peace in international level, globally. That's the only solution remain. The occupants and Zionist regime cannot be there forever. There is an expiry date for them. Sooner or later they have to leave their places and go back to their own places, and that brutality cannot continue forever. And we hope that that day will come very soon, and inshallah the Muslims and Jews and Christians, the native Muslims, Jews and Christians in Palestine will come together and they select their own government and live peacefully, and let everybody live in harmony and coexistence. We hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our prayers, accept our fast. May Allah reward all of us, those who put efforts to promote the Islamic teachings, and may Allah hasten the reappearance of Imam Mahdi Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farhu Sharif, and may Allah end this pandemic and grant the relief for those who are in trouble, especially those who are fighting with this coronavirus in hospitals, in homes. May Allah grant them ease and speedy recovery, and protect all brothers and sisters across the globe, all human beings across the globe, particularly in India and Brazil, in some other parts of the world where we have the spike of the coronavirus. May Allah grant the health workers, the frontline workers, to serve sincerely to the humanity. May Allah grant them more strength, and may Allah grant the scientists to invent cure and medicine for this coronavirus, and may Allah grant all of us the relief so we can come back to the normalcy. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.